You have looked this kind of model of atom or complex this kind of atom in science books. But have you questioned that does it actually look like this or something entirely different? What is the actual truth behind this models? To understand is we need to jump in to start how atoms were discovered. Atom name forms a Greek word called atomon, which means indestructible or indivisible. It was name given by Greek philosopher Democritus at 400 BCE, whom thought that atoms were indestructible. But later physicist Rutherford made alpha particle scattering information and found out the helium-positive ion and penetrate the gold foil, but some couldn't. Some came back. And by observation he thought atom had positive nucleus, maybe that's why so most penetrated, that means an atom is mostly empty. That was first atom model that was given by Rutherford, where electron were the thing orbiting and nucleus was at the center by electric attraction. But it had problems, like Maxwell pointed out. If electron can orbit like that, then it will lose all electrical energy and fall into nucleus, but it doesn't. To fix this problem, Bohr later introduced another atomic model using quantum theory where electron has energy level. And it can't move to up or jump down if electron doesn't emits energy or absorbs one, which is called photon. That solved the Maxwell's problem, but one still remain, which is called Heisenberg uncertainty. I talk about it in my last video. This suggests electron has to be like a wave, so Bohr model fails. Then we have model based on de Broglie hypothesis as 2D wave, but it wasn't enough. Then jump to what is called the wave function. It's probability distribution of energy function to find the probability electron in spatial dimension. But there is one problem: the dimension is not simple excluding, rather a wave propagating in complex plane, which is confusing. So later fixing is confusion of complex wave amplitude in measurable value. We used Born rule, which caused the wave function to collapse. So the electron cloud you see that comes from different random probability of the collapse rather than actually a real cloud. The thing we don't know for sure where electron we just were most likely to be, and graph the probability using uncertainty equations. Where electron is just mathematically probability energy wave. Then using this we also made something that is called spherical harmonics to understand how hydrogen atoms looks like on different energy levels. Solving the hydrogen atom Schrödinger equation. It might look scary, but it's just but some simple values in advanced polynomials. Using principal quantum number n, and for the orbital angular momentum we used S, P, D, F. It just comes from the angular momentum operator thing that dictates energy rather than electron orbiting angular momentum. It's just a geometrically constraints. And good news, this shapes that are created by polynomials aren't even real. This aren't real cause it comes for solving the complex wave function psi and phi into polynomial that gives this equations, which are mixed with real and complex, but all lives in a complex dimension. And the shapes is just visualization of this complex polynomial graph map rather than actually how it looks like. Yeah, the chemistry dumbbell's not real. It also fails when you use Born rule that gives you single value amplitude rather than electron charge cloud. It does look beautiful indeed, and we use this thing in chemistry as orbitals where electron lives and spin state statistics, which are useful but far from reality. It is also that this model is based on complex math or polynomial as energy state. But it still misses one thing that dictates the quantum world where particles are in high speed. That is the theory of relativity. Cause this model is based on non-relativistic Schrödinger equation. Works only when electrons are still. But it's moving or vibrating like a wave, then this equation will fail. Electrons are hardly at rest. That's why we use 4D complex spinor field instead of this complex polynomials. But the question remains how atom actual looks like. It's a tough question where we don't know what atom looks like for sure. We made model. They were useful, but they failed to explain it. Whatever we did with atom was just a thought or a math trick to make sense of reality, but maybe reality is something more than we thought or predicted. Maybe understanding the vacuum could be an answer of what we are actually made of. Instead of relying fully of math. We do need different interpretation to understand. Until then, use what is useful and don't stress about it, I guess. If I want to say how atom actually looks like, I would say a thing. A emptiness. A nothing that filled with energy and vibrations that we don't understand. 'Cause that what is now closest to reality. To how atom actually looks like. A sudden interaction. That changes the reality.